death, rape, murder, incest, the Holocaust, 9/11. Surely, if there was a good God, He wouldn't allow such things, right? It might seem that way, but is that true? The reality is there are 3 flaws in that reasoning. We pointed them out in our video. God wouldn't. And the first was this: the evil we see in the world does not come from the hand of God. It comes from man. Secondly, we pointed out that God gave man a free will. He may choose to do good or evil. Sadly, given the innate selfishness of man, more times than not, he chooses the bad, and that brings suffering, not only upon himself, but others as well. Lastly, we pointed out that in his love for his creation, for those who trust in him and in his Son, Jesus Christ, God always brings good out of the bad that man does. But doesn't God actually cause suffering sometimes? Didn't God cause the child of David and Bathsheba to die? And didn't he command the Hebrew people to murder all the Amalekites, men, women, and children? The answer is yes, he did. Well, the answer to why, let us first consider the children. While rightly maintaining that all people are born in sin, many Christians believe that sin doesn't count until one reaches a certain, usually undetermined age. This belief is called the age of accountability. If true, then David and Bathsheba's infant child was simply transferred to the eternal peace and joy of heaven, never to experience the pain and disappointments that inherently come with life. Certainly, that seems to have been the view of David, a man after God's own heart. At the report of his child's death, to the surprise of those who knew him best, David ceased his mourning, saying, "Now that he is dead, why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I will go to him, but he will not return to me." Even most Christians who believe in the power of baptism to save do not say that unbaptized infants and children are doomed. Instead, most believe that our merciful God, who loves little children, will receive them unto himself. Consider this as well. Had God not taken these little ones out of the world, they would have grown up to be and suffered the same fate of their parents. And they were definitely deserving of God's judgment. One thing, the Amalekites were depraved. It was their practice to murder their own children, offering them as sacrifices to their non-existent gods. Secondly, the Amalekites were committed to annihilating the Hebrew people, from which the Messiah would arise. That, of course, was something God could never allow. And thirdly, in his omniscience, God knew that none of the Amalekites would ever turn to him in faith and be saved. If they would have, God would have spared them as surely as he would have spared Sodom and those who dwelt within. To Abraham, who asked, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 in the city? If I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, said our God, I will spare the whole place for their sake. What if 10 can be found there? Asked Abraham. For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it, said our God. The point is this: not even one of the Amalekites would have believed. Now, I have no doubt that many maybe even most unbelievers, will not accept the reasoning I have just shared in this video. The truth is, some things can only be understood through the eyes of faith. Without it, understanding may be all but impossible. Besides, given how great and awesome our God is, there will always be some things that even we who believe will never fully grasp. As someone once said, if the mind of man could completely comprehend the mind of God, God is no greater than the mind of man. But let no Christian be deceived. When it comes to the question, would a good and loving God cause or allow suffering? The answer is, a good God would.